Hello everyone. So today's podcast I'm going to bring it to you in English because we have an international founder of a very famous startup, especially in the video streaming area. So when it comes to video streaming, we all know the names Vimeo, Bunny, and many other names are there. And in this specific area, there's another niche. This is about protecting your videos. We call them digital rights management or DRM. So this DRM technology go hand in hand with these video streaming providers. So basically what the DRM technology does is it limits you from downloading and pirating the video content. So as we all know, Netflix uses this to a large extent, and a lot of Sri Lankan companies who are also especially into education and especially into streaming of videos, movie streaming companies. All these people, if they want to protect their video content online from downloading and illegal distribution, they use this technology called DRM. So this DRM technology is quite a bit of expensive. If you want to integrate DRM and your platform is being visited by thousands of customers or users, then the cost of adding DRM goes really high up. This was the norm until someone from India have broken that status quo. So his name is Siddhanth Jain and he's right in front of me. So I welcome Siddhanth to our program, our podcast. So welcome to Sri Lanka as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Siddhanth, tell me your story. For starters, what inspired you to start VdoCipher? Was there a very specific problem or gap in the market that motivated you to fill?
Hi Sanjay. First of all, thanks for inviting me to your podcast. It is good to be in Sri Lanka. So we started VdoCipher while we were in college in IIT Delhi. So I and my partner Vibhav, we were students and batchmates in our college IIT Delhi. So to the students, the problem of piracy is quite obvious because students share a lot of movies, courses, ebooks in pirated form. But at the same time, we had a contrast. So I had a roommate and a friend named Satish who was into teaching chemistry at the time of our college, and he focused more on teaching chemistry as a part-time while he was a student as well. And he was very much concerned about his premium notes being leaked, and when he came into online courses, whether live or again recorded videos, so he was always concerned that if my main content gets leaked, then how will he get?
He was conducting this online,
yes,
like in video format.
He used to go to other cities to do it offline, but at that same time, some companies had come in e-learning and they had given him offer to do it online as well. So he was considering online as well, but he started offline primarily. So at that time, we of course understood that perspective of teacher as well. At that time, we tried to build around a technology from scratch which can play encrypted video. But as one should do while doing a startup, we didn't build out the whole setup. We built a basic prototype and we tried reaching out to potential e-learning and some media companies in India if they had this problem or not, because we are thinking it is a problem, but whether the customers have a problem or not. So finance-based education platform in Delhi, they first acknowledged that they have a problem and they were ready to do a trial. So we finished the product, the first version of the product, and we gave them the product for the trial, and then they later become our first customer. So their name was CA Club India. So they were our
This was when?
This was in 2014 end. So that time we were still in college. Then eventually we built around the product, and we graduated in 2015 July, and then we incorporated the company. So our idea was to help all kind of content creators, teachers, skilling segment to be able to put content online. A lot of people came to us and told that we are not putting our content online because we fear of piracy. So we felt that best of the teachers in India, they were not putting their content online just because of the fear of piracy. So in a way, it was also affecting students. So we tried to help the overall community. So we ensured that we build a product which is not only good for teachers, but in terms of player experience and the features for education, it is also good for the students, so that students, whether they are in tier 2-3 cities of India, Africa, Asia, anywhere, they are able to watch the content well. So we optimize for the playback, at the same time providing a high security from piracy.
How many customers do you have now, and how is the distribution among the globe?
Yeah, so the customer, we have 3,000 plus business customers, Most of them are private businesses, but some of them are organizations like colleges, schools, and non-profits as well. The distribution is pretty widespread. Of course, the highest is in India because we are originally from India, but rest is spread across Asia, Europe, and USA as a major segment.
Okay, so even I have used your service for a couple of months back in the COVID days. What got me intrigued about is the cost factor that you try to bring it down to a very significant level from the providers that are out there. If we use third-party services, especially that comes with all the cloud providers, the cost is through the roof. How are you going to offer that at that price range? Is there a secret?
Okay. So when we started out building this, so it already there were few technologies like this which were in the market, but they were only in the reach of likes of say Netflix, Sony, Amazon, etc. So it was not in the reach of the teacher. So that is why where we felt there was a gap, because if we had built just the security technology, it would not have sold because it was already there. So we built security with easiest integration. So when somebody asks that what is your strength, we don't say it is highest security from piracy. We say highest security from piracy with easiest integration. So we built it around with a cloud hosting, a player, and a combined solution, and made it overall easy, integrate, and also affordable. And initially, yes, so we had to put a lot of efforts in making this easy and affordable, but over the time we were able to make profits out of that.
Okay, so let me ask the question at this particular time. What's the valuation of your company right now?
So that is one thing which I would like to say to all startup entrepreneurs. So see, valuation typically before a company goes public, it is all about last VC round or last funding round. So as a company, we are fortunate that we had only to raise the last seed round in 2016 and 17. So since now 8 years, we haven't raised any round. So that is why we don't have any private valuation of a recent time. And we are profitable since now 4 financial years. So yeah, when we are going to do probably an IPO or some other major funding round, then we will have a proper.
Okay, let me ask it this way. So if somebody comes in and they tell you that, okay, I want to buy 100% of your shares. What's the amount?
Yeah, so that is we can't mention that. Yeah. Okay.
Can you mention some of your notable customers?
Yes, so some of our notable customers are Time Education, which is providing MBA preparation courses, and then Book My Show, which is providing Hollywood, Bollywood movies. Then there are a few IITs who are using us for some of their upskilling courses, like say IIT Kharagpur, IIT Guwahati. So our customers are primarily in education and media space. Yeah.
Okay. Coming back to the earlier question about the valuation, can you just say, is it in hundreds of thousands of dollars or tens of millions of dollars or in millions of dollars? Can you provide a range?
It will be somewhere in the tens of millions of dollars.
Wow, that's great. Okay. So building a startup from scratch, and you have found a specific problem that you encountered yourself with your friends, and you found a solution and you implemented that. Now you are saying that you are providing great security with the ease of implementation. Okay. So when we are considering the security aspect of it, we all see that even Netflix movies are getting downloaded, pirated. What's the technical part behind this, technical explanation behind this? Are you actually secure? What is the level up to that you are secure?
Okay, yeah. So see, security is like a cat and mouse game. You have to keep updating it. So hackers become smart over the time. So actually, just to give a context, because this can be interesting for certain people who know technology. Way back, you know that there was something called as Adobe Flash. So all the games and videos, they were playing in Flash. So when we started out, we were using a proprietary technology built in Flash. But Adobe Flash was discontinued by browsers and Adobe. So we had to shift to HTML5 based DRM technology, which is supported actually by Google and Apple's. So they maintain the protocols while people manage and implement that. So for example, we are a direct partner with Google Widevine for the Google part of protocol. So it was quite secure for we had few features like watermark apart from the DRM. So it remained secure till a time. But after 2020, overall on a gradual basis, the DRM also got vulnerable. So in last one
the
and 2
Google's
years,
part or the entire Apple?
the Google's part.
Okay.
So Apple's part, since Apple has a lot of control over the OS and the hardware, their part has never been ethically or unethically hacked. But the Google's part has been firstly ethically, then now also unethically, it has been hacked, and certain of the devices are vulnerable. Certain percentage of devices are vulnerable, and it has been happening for now last 1-2 years. There is no assurance that it will get corrected for permanent, and this keeps happening. So we also face this issue because ultimately we are a company providing security. So then we decided around 15 months back that we have to add on further layers of security to it. So we added a proprietary piracy blocker and hacker identification engine, which then plugged in all these DRM gaps. Because we had the 8-year experience of implementing the DRM, we know what are the vulnerabilities and how people are using it, and we identified a lot of parameters. So now somebody, if they try to break into DRM, they can do it with Netflix, but they can't do with us. They will be identified, and even their user ID will be known, and the customer can then take action on them. So that is what we have added as a proprietary piracy blocker technology. So that is why we say that we are the highest secure, and we are way beyond the DRM. So 2 years back, we will say that DRM was the best security feature, but now the proprietary piracy blocker solution is our best security feature.
So basically, if somebody tries to log into their account and try to download or pirate whatever the content that they are trying to do, trying to watch, you can detect them. You can get their usernames and passwords and alert the owner of the content.
Right.
So that means that user has to be in your system first as a registered user, right?
No. So we are a B2B SaaS platform which help education company like yours. So you will integrate our solution in your website and app. So we just fetch data from your.
No, that's what I'm saying. So that person, whoever's trying to pirate our content, has to be part of that platform, logged in.
Right.
And then only, since they are already registered, right, they have the details with them. No?
If the student is not registered, suppose it is a free video and a public user,
you don't need
then we'll still tell you the IP, but you can't do much based on IP.
I know if it's already public, why do you need DRM anyway?
Right.
Okay. So why doesn't Netflix do it?
So
they can do it. They know our ID. They know we are logged into their platform.
See, many people think that media companies should be more concerned about piracy than education companies, because media as such businesses are quite large and they making billions of revenue. That is true to extent. But if you see per user money, that is much more in an education platform. So if suppose I come from India, the price of which a person pays for a year for an education course to get into, say, a premium engineering college or to prepare for a government exam, it can be anywhere from $150 to $1,500 a year. Okay, while the subscription of Netflix etc. is quite low as compared to it. So the amount of money, the effort which hackers are able to put into an education platform are much more, because even if they sell those courses at half of the price, they are making a lot of money and people are able to buy it. So
because it's not a mass market product, but the product is scarce, so you can make a lot of money out of even if you leak a small bit of it.
And Netflix etc., they try to do a lot of things legally. They are a big US entity, and in US they can do a lot of legal things, but most of the education companies, primarily in developing countries, they can't go through the legal route. They have to have a technical solution which will actually prevent piracy and not plug in after the leakage.
So for an average user or a bit of a tech savvy user, your content platform is quite secure. I mean, they cannot bypass the DRM that you are introducing.
Yes. So they cannot bypass the DRM or the proprietary blocker we have. Even for a very serious hacker, it is so. Okay, and we have levels of security. Okay, someone wants low security, zero security. We also have that option. But the most popular platforms, they want the highest of the security, and it is available for them.
Great. So let's coming back to your startup story, because I am presenting this story to you mainly to motivate the startup founders here. So you know that you can make it big by learning from the people who have already done it. So Siddhanth, you got funding, right? How do you go about that? How do you pitch first? How many pitches you went to, and finally you get picked up?
Okay, sure. So first thing is, like as a startup founder, you needs to be good at sales. When I say sales is not just about selling to customers. You are selling every part of you. So you are selling to your investors. You are selling to the news sites about your story and vision. You are doing kind of PR. Then you are selling to your friends and family that I am going into this business so that it will be successful. So it is about believing in your story first with facts. You can't be just believing. So you need to iterate and you need to have belief in your product. and then you have to approach investors. So first thing is that you need to be very clear in your deck that what is the problem statement, how much you have surveyed it, and the market sizing. Most of the investors, they feel bit distracted, like discomfort when someone says that our market size is this much $1 billion and we will capture $100 million in say 3-5 years. Because if you just project those very large broad numbers, they know that you haven't done your homework. Okay, so you should narrow it down. For example, in our case, we narrow it down to that we will first cater these kind of test prep platforms. Then we will cover colleges or we will cover media companies. So if you narrow it down and you can tell that in this 2 years I am trying to target this particular segment which will make money, and this is the number, say $10 million, $5 million, then it feels more approachable. And the other aspect is team. Apart from market size and your market research, it is team. So are the founders friends? Because are the founders friends within themselves? What are the chances of founder conflicts? So if the founders have a good background and also investors trust that the founders will not go apart if there is an issue, then that is the second major point. And third, if you have a traction and if your product is already out in the market, it has some validation. The money doesn't matter, but someone has given you some money for that. And these three key things are what an investor looks for.
Okay, great. So what is product market fit and how did you achieve it?
Yeah. So product market fit, if I have to put in simple language, it is to be that initially when you're starting out, you will strive with few kind of use cases, few kind of customers or industries. Okay, you will say do this for say 1 year or 2 years, and then you will see that a particular market is giving you more pull, and also your product is more suited to it, and you are making good money out of it. So you will get hold of that, and now you will put a lot of sales and marketing effort into that channel to scale it up. So product market fit, to me, it can be said that when you have enough validation in a particular segment through paying customers, or maybe through non-paying customers in a case of a B2C, say social media app, and you can just put your all sales and marketing and PR effort into that particular channel to get more and more customers in that niche. So that is what a product market fit is. So product market fit, that is why it keeps updating over the time. So for example, if you cater to a particular segment for 3 years, of course, 4th year, you will try to enter a new segment. Then you have to build a product market fit for that particular segment again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's delve a little bit deep into the marketing aspect of it. So how did you first market to the customers? What were your points? What were your strong suit? USP? What was your USP?
Okay. So see, as we were students in the college, we didn't have much money. So we tried two approaches, and which we are trying even till now, but we have scaled it up quite good. So first thing is that to the customers whom we can approach directly, at least in India, we directly pitch them on LinkedIn, email, cold calls, and actually to some institutes in Delhi, NCR, or even in capital cities, we directly approach them. So you have to be, I say to a lot of people, you have to be positively shameless. You can go anywhere, you can knock their door, you can wait at the reception, and you have to meet the people whom you want to meet. So we did that initially. Even now our team members do that. If probably I am not doing it, but our team members still do that. And the second thing is we did a lot of efforts on content marketing and SEO. So even now if you search for something like video piracy, secure video streaming, online video player, video encryption, or even education apps in India, many kind of keywords, we will be ranking first on the Google. So we wrote a lot of quality content and we followed whatever best practices in Google are. We put efforts in it rather than just directly throwing money at the Google ads, and that gave us traffic initially. And that is one of our strengths, that we get a lot of good organic traffic all across the world.
So how much you spent on PPC per month at various stages of your company?
Yeah, so this is an interesting thing. So initially we spent a lot, then we spent low, then we increased our budget as the company kept grow. Then we again reduced it. Okay, so the reason being, the Google is Google's policies and how Google is, it is like kind of misbehaving in how it runs ads. So for example, our competitor Vimeo is a public company. It is a $400 million annual revenue company. I have tried searching for main keywords in India and USA. In both places, Vimeo doesn't show ads because the ROI on Google ads in these days is quite low. So yeah, so Yeah, currently also we spend a bare minimum. We have to spend on our own brand name VdoCipher because else competitors are spending. But we don't do a lot of Google ads. We used to do it in somewhere around 2020, but then Google ads become expensive and they didn't give a ROI. So neither us, neither our competitors, they are much doing Google ads.
So what do you do then?
So we do SEO, we do direct sales
Through LinkedIn?
Through LinkedIn, through mail, and even through, like I said, the direct approaches. We attend events. So all the major events in like India and Asia even we attend. Okay, and also we sometimes attend events even outside Asia as well. So events, direct sales, SEO, some bit of Google ads, some bit of LinkedIn ads, some bit of Facebook ads, like combination. Not a lot, but some bit of ads on all the platforms we do.
So at this point in time, it's been 10 years into your company.
Yeah.
So how much of worth of total PPC do you do for a month? Like $5,000, $10,000? Is there a number?
So it is definitely less than $10,000. I cannot give an exact number, but it is considerably less than $10,000.
Okay. So the challenge for you from coming from India or any other country, you go to another country, let's say Dubai, Singapore, or US or whatever, and you try to pitch your product in an exhibition, or you meet investors or you meet new customers. How do you bridge the trust gap?
Okay. So yeah, so that is a challenge. So either you should have a marquee customer whom you can tell and everybody knows in the world, okay, or you have a marquee customer in that geography which everybody knows. So until I will say, if you don't have a marquee customer in a country and you put an exhibition stall, then you might not get the returns. It might be very difficult. You might get leads, etc., and you might get some conversions. But maybe from the second event onwards, you will get better conversions. But you need to have one or two marquee customers whom you can tell. Maybe you don't have a public testimonial, but you can say give a private reference for them, which is actually essential.
Great insight on that. Okay, technology. So this is a technical product because before marketing, before sales and everything, you have to develop the product.
Right.
So where did you find the technical knowledge? Did you learn it in college, or you learned it yourself?
Yeah. So of course the VdoCipher whole story is interesting, but my partner's side is more interesting. So my partner was...
Let's go into that.
Yeah. So me and my partner, we were both doing chemical engineering. We were not into software. And I even had masters and I did a research paper in chemical engineering as well. But my partner was always into coding. And he used to do a startup called VdoCipher, which was into freelance IT services, where he first got hang of the AWS cloud, and AWS also gives certain cloud credits.
Yes.
So he was building cloud-based solutions for 2-3 platforms. At that time, he was also doing a course on Coursera related to encryption. And as I mentioned, we were getting aware of the problem of piracy. So he thought that why not combine these two things together, whatever we are seeing and whatever he has experience with AWS Cloud and Coursera course on encryption. So yeah, so you see, even e-learning helped us because he ultimately learned the initial bit of encryption technologies from Coursera itself. So then he tried to build a prototype of a player which can play encrypted content, a basic encrypted content, and then we started doing it. So yeah, so he is a whole self-learned guy, and most of the team members which we also hired later into development company, they were also all self-learned guys.
How many people are in your team now?
So we have 40-member team, around half in development team and half are sales, marketing, operations, business team.
All located in India?
Yes, all located in Delhi NCR region.
Okay. How does the competitors fare with your service, your offerings? We have Vimeo, we have global players like Bunny. So what's the situation there? How do you plan on keeping ahead of the competition?
Yes, so Vimeo is not much into security from piracy. They are doing other things. So that is good because they do everything. They are now also going into AI, video editing and all those stuff. So that is fine. So ultimately you have to also go deep and you have to go broad. So when I say go deep, so the proprietary piracy blocker and hacker identification engine, which I told, that is going deep into security. We always have to be the best secured company in the world. Then going broad means we have to introduce more solutions. So over the time we built a better customizable player. Now 7 months back we introduced a live streaming solution as well to cater to apart from e-learning and media, it can also cater to events, music concerts as well. So we have to go broad as well. So that is how we are trying to stay competitive in the market, by going both deep and broad.
So YouTube allows us to stream live events to hundreds of thousands of people, even cricket matches or football matches. So what's the capacity of your live streaming feature?
Yeah, so our capacity, like we have practically tested it in like actual use case till 12,000 users, 100 users. In as such, through machine simulations, we have tested it till say 100,000 plus users. But in an actual use case, we have tested it till 12,000 plus users in a concurrent stream.
Great. So are you open to shedding us some light on how you manage the teams? How do you manage 40 different people and get them to follow one single vision?
Yes. So that is the most crucial part of the startup journey. Ultimately, people don't work with company or product. People work with people. Okay,
You're not considering yourself a startup now, right?
Yeah. So we now in India they have told us that you should use the term SME, small medium enterprise. So SME is the new buzzword in India. So yeah. So we are an SME. We are not a startup. Okay.
So coming back to the management part. Yeah.
Yes, so management part. So ultimately, people work with like to work with people, and if they have a happy work culture where they are respected, they have friendships with other people, they will stick longer to you, and they will be honest in their work as well. So we are very honest in our vision. So for example, to our company, we tell them monthly revenue numbers. Okay, we tell them the number of leads generated. So these all numbers are transparent within the company. And not only the positive aspects like all the big customer wins, but also the negative aspects. Suppose if there was some issue in playback, there was some downtime, we also clearly mention everyone in the company about that and what is the process so that next time it doesn't happen. So and overall we have tried to maintain almost a flat hierarchy. I wouldn't say 100%. Over the time you have to put in some managerial aspects, but till 1 year back it was a flat hierarchy. There were a CTO and a CEO like me and my partner.
Flat hierarchy, you said?
Yeah, flat hierarchy. Yeah. So and all people were at the same position. Now we have introduced some hierarchy in terms of say head of sales, head of marketing, and we will probably have other hierarchy as well, but still it is culturally a lot flatter as compared to other others. So that is why people stay longer in their company and they don't usually go away. So last two people who have left our company, they left because they had to move to other country for just settling there. Yeah.
So how big, this is for the general audience, how big is IT in India and what is the contribution to the country's GDP the IT industry is getting?
So yeah, IT is quite big in India in terms of the contribution to economic GDP as well. So particularly you should have a company who is leading. So there are companies like Flipkart and Zomato which led the space. So Flipkart, because of its acquisition by Walmart, it didn't just generate revenue for investors and founders, but it also trickled down. There were a lot of like team members and employees, even I know some of my friends who made money out of that, then they established their own businesses. So ultimately Flipkart helped a lot of other entrepreneurs as well that way. And then Zomato became a public company, so they also helped. And similarly on the B2B space, so this was more B2C. So companies like Freshdesk and Zoho, they did a lot well. So Zoho is a very good example. They even now have training centers and coders who are sitting in villages of Tamil Nadu, and then they are doing the work. So these companies, these kind of companies, they have contributed a lot to the IT segment, not just in terms of economy, but also in terms of the quality of life, the money which people are able to make, and how the wealth is trickling to other fields of life.
Great. This is somewhat on the news, that's why I'm asking. Maybe right. If you can answer, you can answer. So there was this company, there still is the company called Byju. So it was sponsoring the Indian national cricket team, and then we heard some news in the investment community that the company's valuation is going down. There were certain issues in the investments. Do you know anything about that? Because it's related to the e-learning industry and obviously must have been using a service like yours.
Yes. So we being in the e-learning industry, we knew about Byju, and we had interacted with them for our potential product as well. So ultimately, didn't use our product, but we had a few meetings with them. So their product technology team and the working was still fine. So Byju did 2-3 things wrong or almost fraud. That is why they got screwed. And I will not be diplomatic here, because what they did was wrong for the whole country. And so they do 2-3 things. One thing is how they how they did sales was very unethical. They used to tell wrong lies to the parents. They used to sell a loan in name of subscription to say less educated parents. So they did a lot of unethical things in sales, and they hyped up their numbers. And ultimately, a lot of consumer complaints were filed that they sold us a loan, but they told us it is a subscription. So such things happened. Secondly, which we can't know from outside, they did a lot of financial fraud in terms of how they muzzled the money with mismanagement of the funds. So that is why USA court has convicted them of, I think, $200 or $300 million money fraud. So it is missing from their balance sheet. So how can $200 million be missing from a balance sheet? Okay, but they did all that. So they are suffering what they did, and it is fair enough. But what the issue was that because of that, the investor trust in all the other startups also went away, and investors are also largely responsible for that because they didn't do proper audits or diligence while investing in, say, Series C, D or advanced rounds.
You know what? This particular case of Byju has affected me also. When I go and pitch an educational startup, especially people from Singapore and Dubai, investors, they kind of remind me about Byju's, and this is why we are not interested in education, investing in education technology in this particular period. That's I heard about 1 year back, still up to now.
Yeah, so actually I even put a LinkedIn post in it. So like people, at least 10,000 people in India who knew workings of Byju, they knew that it is going this way. But still, like investors didn't like take notice, and they allowed them to invest money and acquire companies. And ultimately, all it is now going down. It is getting bankrupt and shut down.
Yeah. Okay. So likewise, maybe you had certain issues in your business while developing it. Can you share with us something that went wrong and what you did to bring it back up?
Yeah. So I will just tell in short about 3 critical issues in our company journey. They happened at a decent interval, say 2-3 year interval. So first was this Adobe Flash shift. So we were primarily reliant on Adobe Flash, and then the Adobe, like it was told in advance around 1 year that you have to switch from Adobe Flash.
This was in 2018.
So it was probably in 2017 end. Okay. So then our whole team worked on a new technology. For example, to get an HTML5 DRM, we also have to do a partnership with Google. You have to do a training from Google. So it is also a lot of compliance requirement apart from technical requirement. So we had to do all that within 1 year with a very small team of 6 members total.
At that time,
yeah. So at that time we were only 6 members, and we did that. So that was the one major challenge which was there. So it was very smooth transition. So customer didn't have to update their code or embed code. It was a smooth transition. The second thing was we were left with very low cash in our company. This happened in it happened in 2017, I think. Where we only had a 4-month runway. So after we didn't have money for 5th month because we were in partial losses at that time. So at that time, what we did is we got a very small loan. So that is Indian rupees 25 lakh loan from the investors, which is as such very small.
From the investors, not from the banks.
Not from the banks, okay, because we didn't have collateral and our numbers were not.
Same here. Same. They asked for the collateral.
Okay. So now they are happy to give us loan. Now we don't want loan. They say that I will give. Okay. But at that time, so our investors gave us a small 25 lakh loans. I will acknowledge our prime lead investor, Dr. Malpani, for that. So he has been helpful to us.
So initially you were supported by the angels, right?
Yes, angels. So it is all angel investors. We didn't raise any proper
VC or anything.
VC around. Even for a seed, we didn't go to VC. So then, but even with money, you have to change around things, right? So what we did is then we talked to a lot of customers about the feedback, what we need to do to be able to sell it more. Then we did a lot more events. And we did more new small features. So in 6 months we had to turn around this, and we were able to turn around that. And eventually after that we didn't have to take any investment or loan after that duration.
Great. So the problem here in Sri Lanka is that the investing community is quite small, and only certain and the money is also small. So only a certain amount of startups are actually getting funded, and the funding amounts are also starting at the very pre-seed rounds are quite small, and then goes a little bit up than that. Few companies have made it through getting international funding. For the founders in Sri Lanka, what would you say about bootstrapping, and can they make an international global product without investment? Is there a possibility?
Right. So I will say that bootstrapping is possible. Firstly, you don't go by what happens in news. So for example, news, as Sanjay mentioned, that they hyped Byju's funding, valuation, etc. And now the person will probably go to jail. Okay, so you don't run after valuation. You build a solid unit economics business model. Okay, to
explain unit economics.
Yeah, so unit economics is that you're spending certain X amount into say building or doing a sales marketing of a product, and you are getting certain return, which is say 1.5x or 2x. Okay, or whatever it is. It should be positive. It might be negative in the initial phases, but later on it should be positive. That is why you are making profits. Okay. So many of the companies which died in India after reaching a certain scale, because they reached a scale by pushing investor money, but they didn't have the positive unit economics. If they spent X money, even now there are companies in quick commerce in India which are spending X money and they are only earning like say 0.7x. Okay, so that is still true. So so you have to build unit economics. And then you don't need to see in Sri Lanka, of course, I understand that the money is less, but then your expenses are also low. Office space, or say the developer salaries which you have to pay, or other people's salaries you have to pay. So you have to see that how you can build.
So here it's lower than India.
Yes, it would be okay. So and like ultimately so you have to build a profitable business from here perspective, and you have to see that what kind of lifestyle you get. Ultimately you want to live a life as a founder. Why do you make money? Okay, you want to make money or you want to do a business. Firstly, you want to make an impact. So if you're making an impact to your country in whatever space you want, so you are making an impact. That is one. Secondly, you want to live a life where you're respected by others, and you also have a certain freedom to say travel around or to do what you want to do. So if you make decent money to do that in your country, then it is still good. So I am saying that while we celebrate a lot of $100 million or say $1 billion exit, we should also celebrate $10 million or $20 million or say even $5 million kind of companies, because ultimately they are helping because we are one of that kind of company. We are helping a lot of economy, lot of educators, and we are also doing well within ourselves. Our team is happy, everyone is happy, so that is also good.
Okay. Live within your means and be happy within your means.
But I will say that but you should dream big. You can't start saying like that I will be limited, but you have to start with the resources what you have. Okay, so you can't say, even like actually I was giving recently a talk at a university, so I told that you can't cry about resources. Whatever you have, you build something, prototype something, and you sell it. Okay, we are into the last few questions. So since you have a software as a service product and customers approach you and they ask for specific features to be integrated, you know I'm going with this, and that might or might not be beneficial to the other customers, right? But still you have to do it because you want to land this big guy. So how do you manage that? How do you manage the feature addition, and how do you plan the roadmap? Okay, so this is, since we also started as students, we had learned it on the go. So initially we also thought that this big company is saying to do this thing, we will do this and we will get this and get this. So we in initial 3 years we were guilty of that. Okay, we ran around every big customer's demand and we tried to do that, and ultimately it still didn't get us anything, and we didn't grow that well during our initial 3-4 years. So we say that even now when a customer says to a particular demand, we will say, okay, we have noted it down. We note down all such demands from all the customers. We see that, okay, now 25% of our customers are expecting this. So we should build this, and then we give a timeline that, okay, this will be there in say 6 months to 12 months. Or whatever.
What if that person does not want to wait that around that much?
Yeah, so see, it is about model. So, and it is also about the money you are making. So our like customers, they are paying anywhere from say $150 to $150,000 to us, but the average will be like somewhere in the single $1,000 number. Okay, so now we have to
per year.
Per year, yeah. Okay, so now we have to make a judgment that whether we are going into enterprise segments. If you are going into enterprise only, which means you are only getting customers who are paying you $50,000 per year plus, or say even say $30,000 a year plus, then you will need to do customizations, because I know companies which do partial product, 70-80% product, 20% service model. That is doable when you are getting say $30,000 plus year from every customer of yours. We are not a company like that. We are also having a plan of $150. So based on that, so that is why we decide that this feature, like we are more productized company, but I am not saying you need to be only a productized company. You can be a product plus service company, but if you are selling in a up segment or enterprise, we are more into SMB segment. So we have decided that we wouldn't entertain all feature requests till like we get a threshold of customers asking for the same feature. Whether it is big or small, any customer, we just say no to them.
Okay. So you are willing to let go in order to prioritize your own deliveries.
Yes, and we also learned it by not letting go initially, and but we still didn't get the customer, because ultimately you might build them something and they will say some other excuse at later. So yeah.
Well, okay. So a lot of parallels to draw there. And then let's come to the AI question. So AI is coming. Is AI gonna affect your business in a certain way that it has a threat, or is it gonna aid you? And how are you going to manage the workforce with all these AI advances and agentic AI? Are you going to reduce the workforce?
Okay. So firstly, in our case, so AI will reduce our workforce. So our team members are using AI to do their task better in terms of say content writing, support, stuff and all those things, or say using AI to do additional features. So now, for example, for English content, we do auto English subtitles for all the lecture content or movie content which is uploaded. And
how did you do it before? Before the LLMs, how did you do it?
No, so we didn't do it. So this is like
after LLMs.
1.5 years,
Okay.
After LLMs only. And we do automatic English subtitles, and even if there's some bit of say Sri Lankan, Hindi or some other language, we are able to translate it to English as well. So that is what we're doing. So we aren't trying to reduce workforce. So see, AI has affected certain fields surely, which is the support part or support agents. So because if there are a lot of basic kind of queries which can be handled better through AI agents, then they will go away. Since ours is a decent technical product, so someone who is explaining need to have a very detailed technical know-how. So in our industry, it is not our case, it hasn't affected much. But I acknowledge,
because you are targeting a very deep niche, no?
Deep niche. But we acknowledge that in the support segment it has affected. But where it also in the coding segment, I will say if you are maybe a fresher, it will affect some extent. For example, myself also, I used to run partial SQL, and I used to ask my CTO or some other people that you help me run this SQL query. Now I can use ChatGPT to run those SQL queries, so I don't need anybody for that. So if you're an entry level engineer or developer, then yes, AI has affected you because your skills can be replaced by ChatGPT. But if you are sufficiently deep into your stuff or framework, and if you are into enough years of experience, then AI will not be disadvantage to you, but it can be disadvantage if you are not using AI. If you don't start using AI for your own coding work and making your code faster and better, then ultimately in 2-3 years down the line you will be affected. But as of now, it is fine.
Okay. So all this AI based development. So when it comes to development, how does that integrate with your current work process?
So firstly, I forgot one question which was about AI affecting our product as such. So in the video streaming technology space, currently in terms of video compression and video transcoding, there is some role of AI to have a better quality video at a lower size. So there people are working, and even we are working. For example, we do optimize lecture content for lower sizes, so it is quite low kbps, but it still looks good. So we are trying to use AI for some part of that. But in terms of streaming security, we are not using much of AI. In terms of how we are using AI to better manage workforce. So workload. Yeah, so we are not distributing any workload to AI. We are just helping our coders to use AI to do their code better. Okay, so we are not essentially, as a managerial aspect, we are not using AI to do any of our coding work.
Okay. Great. So I will let you do a sales pitch to the people who are watching. What is VdoCipher, and how are you going to help them secure their content online?
Okay. So now, since most of people are watching us on social media, say YouTube, my first pitch is to YouTube creators, or the general pitches. So we help e-learning companies, content creators, and media platforms to play or stream their videos in the most smooth and secure manner. So your viewers will have the best experience, even if they are in tier 2-3 city or slow internet. It will be better than other competitors. Secondly, we will ensure that your revenues stay intact. So smart hackers, they may try to get download your content and share it on Telegram or torrent. But our high security, which includes DRM and piracy blocker solution, it will ensure that your content stays intact and it cannot be downloaded. And it is a full video hosting management suite. So it is a player, analytics, security, everything combined as a solution. So you don't need to go to three different companies for three different solutions.
So you memorized that from the beginning, no? Because you practiced that for years and years.
It changes in every meeting a bit, so it is fine. Yeah.
Okay. So finally, for a new startup founder in the tech space, for any kind of product, maybe SaaS, micro SaaS, or just a product or a service, what's your advice in order for them to go where they want to go?
Okay. So my 3 or 4 actionables will be. So I will recommend a book called Mom Test. So it is a book which is Mom Test. Okay. So
test by the mother.
Yeah, test by the mother. So the thing is, like, when you are building initial product, you have to take a genuine feedback from your customers and partners. Okay, if you say that whether this is looking good, everyone say, your friends and family will say it is good. Okay, so you will not get genuine feedback. So Mom Test is a very short 150 small book, which I will say you can apply to any aspect of your life. Even if you are dating, you can apply that. Okay, how to have proper communication and feedback from a second person. So I will say that you need to have a proper feedback about the product you are developing, because if you do an initial market research well on what to build and how to exactly position it, then you will not waste a lot of money and years iterating it. So that is one part. Second thing is like as I said, be positively shameful. Okay, you talk to customers, investors, potential partners. You should be very curious in nature, and you should be able to talk to anyone out there in the world.
Side question: can introverts do that?
Yes. So I was like in the college, I was kind of semi-introvert only. Okay, apart from my 10 friend circle group, I wasn't that extrovert during college time. But I then slowly opened up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it is a skill. So I will say it is a skill to talk to people, and you have to learn it over the time, and it is also helpful.
Great. So I believe most of you have learned quite a bit from this great founder that we have found, who's the founder of VdoCipher, and you can see it online. There's a website, check it out. And we are going to integrate their services with our platforms as well soon enough. And I hope that I wish them the best of luck and to expand their services even further, and wish that you guys have learned something out of this and apply them in your day-to-day startup life. So take care, and we see you next time. Thanks, Siddhanth, for coming back and helping with us.
Yeah. Thank you, Sanjay, and best wishes for your business as well.